Did you know that it's absolutely normal for a first date to end in bed, and no one finds this strange? Denmark is a country where freedom, openness, and equality are not just abstract concepts, but part of a whole philosophy of life. Romance, comfort, and equality create a unique atmosphere that makes Danish women one of the most memorable aspects of this extraordinary nation. But why exactly are Danish women so special? What is life really like in this fascinating country where romance, equality, and comfort form an entire lifestyle philosophy? Let's find out. If you look at the map, Denmark appears as a small northern European nation, but don't let its modest size fool you. Denmark comprises more than 400 islands, although only 70 of these are inhabited. It's a country of remarkable contrasts, with wide open seas often replacing mountains and forests. Denmark is famously flat, lacking towering mountains, yet surrounded by endless coastlines and stunning sea views. Thanks to its location near the Atlantic Ocean, Denmark enjoys mild winters and pleasantly cool summers. Historically, Denmark is among Europe's oldest nations, proudly embracing its Viking heritage. Vikings are more than just historical figures. They were skilled craftsmen, adventurous sailors, and fearless warriors whose legacy remains part of modern Danish identity. However, Danish history isn't just tales of triumph, it also includes painful defeats. In 1864, Denmark suffered one of the most significant military defeats in its history when it lost a war against Prussia and Austria, an event that dramatically reshaped Danish politics and contributed to the country's shift toward a constitutional monarchy. Today, Denmark is renowned for its exceptionally high standard of living, excellent healthcare, and world-class education systems. It's also famed for its sophisticated approach to architecture and design, home to legendary figures such as Arne Jacobsen and Hans Wegner, whose innovative creations still influence global trends. Health and education systems in Denmark are among the best on the planet, reflecting the country's emphasis on quality and well-being. Danish people follow the famous 8-8-8 rule: 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, and 8 hours for leisure. This healthy balance ensures that Danes have ample time for personal relationships, leisure, and relaxation, including romantic evenings spent in cozy hotels. Speaking of romance, Danish women truly stand out. Their charm isn't limited to their outward appearance, although that alone can be captivating, often characterized by tall figures, fair skin, blue or gray eyes, and naturally blonde hair. Yet, their beauty extends deeper. Danish women are admired for their confidence, independence, and relaxed approach to life. They value personal freedom, an active lifestyle, and above all, genuine gender equality. In personal relationships, it doesn't matter who makes the first move. What truly counts in Denmark is sincere emotional connection. The dating culture here is open and relaxed. In fact, according to surveys, about 7% of Danish women find nothing unusual about ending a first date in a hotel room. This reflects the country's open-minded approach, emphasizing emotional chemistry over social conventions or appearances. Denmark also stands out for its progressive family policies. Danish parents can share up to 480 days of paid parental leave, one of the longest in the world. Such policies reflect Denmark's dedication to equality and supporting families in balancing careers and parenting responsibilities. If you're enjoying this video so far, feel free to hit the like button. On my channel, I share stories about women from many different cultures. I even have a dedicated playlist for this topic. Don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in more content like this. And now, let's move to the most intriguing part, understanding the unique aspects of daily life and the mindset of Danish women. An especially fascinating aspect of life in Denmark is the country's approach to personal freedom and sexuality. Unlike many nations where prostitution is strictly prohibited by law and heavily stigmatized, Denmark legalized prostitution back in 1971. However, there are certain nuances. Sex work is allowed only as a secondary occupation. This means that both men and women who become sex workers should do so by personal choice rather than financial necessity. Sex workers in Denmark have clearly defined rights and responsibilities, including paying taxes and having the full right to call the police if their safety is ever compromised. Interestingly, adulthood in Denmark begins at age 15, and the concept of same-sex marriage is widely accepted. It's almost impossible to surprise a Dane with sexual experimentation or alternative lifestyles. Yet, despite this openness, the number of local people involved in sex work isn't extremely high, though it's certainly not negligible. A Danish magazine recently published intriguing statistics. Denmark currently has around 5,500 sex workers, half of whom are native Danes. About 1,000 originate from Eastern Europe, around 300 have African roots, and approximately 900 sex workers are from Thailand. Prostitution here isn't seen as a societal problem. Rather, it's another part of Denmark's smoothly functioning system. Surprisingly, your school teacher might secretly be working part-time in the sex industry, and nobody would condemn or judge them harshly for it. Let's delve a bit deeper into the intimate habits of Danes. Nearly 20% of Danish people admitted having had experiences involving two partners at once. However, according to statistics, 32% of Danish men have a reputation for being quick finishers, though thankfully not as rapid-fire as an AK-47. Another surprising fact, 26% of Danish women keep adult toys in their bedside drawers. Even more intriguingly, 50% of modest Danish women consider razors and their bodies completely incompatible, meaning shaving is not a priority. And perhaps most astonishingly, 20% of women have admitted to falling asleep during intimacy at least once. One of the most distinctive cultural features of Denmark is the concept of hygge. This isn't just a trendy word, but an entire philosophy dedicated to comfort, warmth, and joy in life's simple pleasures. Hygge embodies everything from cozy evenings spent drinking tea and chatting with friends to creating welcoming home environments filled with candles, soft lighting, and relaxing activities. This cultural phenomenon fosters a deep sense of satisfaction and well-being. Amazing, isn't it? Because Denmark is a northern country with limited sunlight, Danes deeply appreciate sunny days and often supplement their vitamin D intake through tablets or liquid vitamins during winter months. At the slightest appearance of sunshine, locals rush outdoors to enjoy it fully. It's not uncommon to see Danes casually removing their shirts in city centers to soak up some sun without embarrassment. Interestingly, Danes don't limit sunbathing only to parks and beaches. One of Copenhagen's most popular locations for relaxation and sunbathing is Assistens Cemetery. Families commonly enjoy picnics, and it's typical to spot young women sunbathing between graves, reading books, and wearing swimsuits. The cultural philosophy here is that cemeteries shouldn't be places of death, they're places celebrating life. Given Denmark's limited land, this practical and relaxed approach makes sense. Another peculiar Danish tradition involves the way children are raised. Danish children are famously quiet, rarely screaming or crying in public. The historical roots of this calm parenting style trace back to the time of plague epidemics, when children were placed outdoors in fresh air to avoid infection. A habit that surprisingly remains today, with babies commonly left sleeping peacefully outdoors in strollers, while parents enjoy coffee indoors. If you walk through Copenhagen at night, you'll quickly notice something distinctive. People carefully follow rules. Even at crowded, noisy music festivals, Danes patiently wait their turn in queues and rarely cross the street against red lights. If someone dares to break these norms, locals promptly correct their behavior through direct communication. Danish humor might seem unusual or even rude to foreigners. Sending a friend, "fuck you," as a humorous birthday greeting is considered completely normal, no matter how long you've known each other. Another curious fact about Denmark involves environmental responsibility. Danes have created an ingenious recycling system known as pant. When you buy a soda bottle, let's say for 20 kroner, you're actually charged slightly more, maybe 22 kroner. These extra 2 kroner, called a pant, serve as a refundable deposit. By returning empty bottles to special recycling stations, people recover their deposit. Thanks to this system, Denmark's streets remain remarkably clean, virtually free of plastic litter. Carrying simplicity, equality, and sincerity as core values, Denmark represents a harmonious lifestyle that values joy, mutual respect, and personal comfort. Danish women perfectly embody this cultural attitude, self-assured, open-minded, and charmingly relaxed about life and relationships. And if you've enjoyed this journey into Danish culture and women's lives, don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to share your impressions or personal experiences with Denmark in the comments below.